Donald Trump is not having a good time in court. He's not having a good time in court in Manhattan. He's not having a good time at the appeals court. He just can't stop himself from losing repeatedly, constantly, predictably at this point. But this week, the appeals court in New York did hand Donald Trump not one, but two stunning defeats when the appeals court rejected both of his arguments. One, for getting Judge Juan Rashan removed from the case, and two, from getting rid of the case altogether. The appeals court heard the arguments and they said, not going to happen. The case is still going to go on, and Judge Marshan is still going to be the judge presiding over this trial. So here's what happened. Of course, Donald Trump had his lawyers go to the appeals court and say, hey, two things. One, we got this Brigg Supreme Court case, right? That could determine that our client has immunity and therefore you cannot prosecute him. So let's just stop the whole thing altogether. And if you're not going to stop it, then at the very least, you can get rid of Judge Marshan because his daughter works, at a consulting agency, I guess, that has liberal clients. And therefore he, even though he's not his daughter, is still somehow conflicted in this. And of course, something that I don't think most people realize is that last year, when he was assigned to the case, Judge Marshan himself actually went and said, hey, my daughter does this for a living. She does work with liberal clients. Is this a conflict of interest for which I would need to recuse myself? The ethics panel for the court, he went to them himself to say, hey, is this an issue? Because if it is, I'll back off. And the ethics panel looked into it and they decided, nope, you are okay. You are not your daughter. So therefore, this does not affect you and it should not impact the case. You are free to stay on. So no matter how much Donald Trump whines and cries about Judge Marshan and his daughter, this issue was already settled long before the trial even began. And again, that is a thing that happened that I don't think hardly anyone actually knows about. But of course, it is very relevant to this case, and it is one of many reasons why the appeals court told Donald Trump, this isn't going to fly. But on the immunity issue, see, that one's a little bit more interesting, right? Because technically, yeah, we do have that immunity case. We're waiting for the Supreme Court's decision. I don't think anybody's really holding their breath on that one, but we'll see what happens. And sure, that may impact some of Donald Trump's trials. It may. But really, the only one that it's going to have a significant impact on would be the January 6th trial in front of Judge Tanya Chutkan. Because the document stuff, well, that all happened after he left office. So there's no immunity that could possibly be granted there. And in a weird twist of fate, that happened after office, but the one he's at in Manhattan right now happened before he was in office. So you've got two cases where Donald Trump is trying to claim immunity, where immunity cannot possibly apply because it happened when he was not president of the United States. At one point, he was former president, and for the other one, he was the president-elect, neither of which are granted immunity under any law here in the United States. And you may be saying, well, Farron, they're saying that some of this stuff Trump did in New York, he actually did while he was president. Sure. And immunity could affect that, but it doesn't affect every single charge against him. So if he gets immunity from the Supreme Court, some of the charges against him in New York may disappear, but not all of them will. Because most of what happened, if not all, because I'm not taking Trump and his lawyers' words for it, happened before he was president, and therefore any immunity ruling from the Supreme Court, which the appeals court understands, will not affect most of what's happening in New York. Hey everybody, I don't know if you've noticed this, but we are closing in on a pretty major milestone here at Fair and Balanced as we approach 500,000 subscribers. But we're not there yet, and we definitely need your support. So if you're not already, please do subscribe to the channel, and don't forget, like and comment on the videos and share them as widely as possible.